Now guys, unfortunately the boat's bridge, we can't go through Westminster Bridge today, but I will talk a little bit about the Palace of Westminster. Can you all see Big Ben?
Yes.
No, you can't. Big
Yes,
Ben
we
is
can
the 13.5 ton bell that sits inside of the Elizabeth Tower, the tower with the scaffolding around it. And why is the bell itself called Big Ben? Probably named after Sir Benjamin Hall. He was the clerk of works when we rebuilt the palace over there. He was a really fat guy, not very nice to his workers. When the bell turned up on site, the workers said, "Oi Ben, that bell looks just like you." Good job his name weren't Richard. Yeah, I'll let you work that out. Okay guys, we are sitting beside the London Eye, the world's largest cantilever and observation wheel. It's called an observation wheel because the pods are on the outside. 32 pods, one pod for each borough in London, no number 13. People wouldn't get in number 13 for superstitious reasons. We've had a lot of things happen on the London Eye. We've had 8,000 marriage proposals, nearly 900 rejections. Takes half an hour to get round. You must sit down, mate. Takes half an hour to get round. What would you talk about? Will you marry me? No. Why not? You're not Big Ben. Yeah, alright, okay. I'm not explaining that either. Hungerford Railway Bridge, commissioned by Isambard Bingham Brunel to build a railway across to take the railway across to Charing Cross on the left-hand side. And we have a new Charing Cross railway station. Terry Farrell, the architect, was commissioned to rebuild Charing Cross, and he made it look like a steam train coming out of the tunnel with smoke billowing in the background. If you see that, good luck. All I see over there is toaster. Now guys, the best place in London to get a good snog is the pink bus on the right hand side. We all know snogs are frozen yogurts, don't we? All the ladies were getting excited there. Okay guys, so Hungerford Railway Bridge, what we're going underneath, the walkways either side will put their survey to Queen Jubilee Station. As we go over the bridges, you must remain on the upper deck, you must remain seated at all times. But we are coming down to Waterloo Bridge on the River Thames. Waterloo Bridge has a nickname of the Ladies' Bridge because during the Second World War, when the men was off fighting, the old Waterloo Bridge got bombed, so the ladies rebuilt the bridge. You know what, girls? They built it on time and on budget. They also made it out of self-cleaning stone. Only a woman. It's also called the Ladies' Bridge because it's the longest bridge on the Thames and it goes on and on. Naughty. We don't do naughty things on the Silver Anita. Not till much later on tonight. Okay, so as you go under Waterloo Bridge, first building you spot on the right hand side, National Theatre, which is a great example of brutalist architecture. Brutalist architecture is meant to be brutal on the eye. You will agree the National Theatre is definitely brutal on the eye, but it does have three fabulous theatres within that complex. Also houses the world's first skateboard park, which opened in 1953. Sorry, America, we had it first. Okay guys, now if you look to the front of the vessel, you get a good view of the dome of St Paul's Cathedral. You'll notice all the tall buildings all on the ground space around Leadenhall. Okay, and you'll notice all the buildings are funny shapes. This is because there's a law in London that says that you must be able to see the dome of St Paul's Cathedral from 8 positions throughout the city of London, which is why the buildings are all funny shapes. They are maintaining the sight lines to the dome of St Paul's Cathedral. Okay guys, next bridge we're going down to, Blackfriars Bridge, gets its name from a monastery. It used to sit on the north bank of the river. The monks in the monastery used to wear black robes, so the area started to become known as the Black Friars. On the right hand side there's a red brick building with a tower on top. Now you probably think that tower says Oxo. It doesn't say anything at all because this is a royal river. You're not allowed to advertise on a royal river, but the Oxo company who make the cubes, they bought that building, put up that tower. They were prosecuted And in court, they had their very clever lawyer plead to a particularly stupid judge. No, doesn't say OXO. We just ordered a random selection of circles and straight lines. Purely coincidentally, it come out saying OXO. Judge went, okay, fair enough, believe them. Silly judge. You think he had stock in the company? Okay, silly joke. Okay guys, now on just this side of Blackfriars Bridge on the right hand side, there's a tavern called Doggett's. This commemorates a race that we have on the Thames every year for the top 6 water-on apprentices. They get to row 6.5 kilometres up the Thames to Barnes. It was instigated in 1715 by Thomas Doggett. He was an Irish actor. He used to work at the Haymarket Theatre, but every evening he was rowed 6.5 kilometres up to his lodgings in Barnes. Such a feat when he instigated the world's oldest rowing race, the Doggett's Coat Badge Race. If you win it, you get the coveted coat and badge to wear, a lump sum of money, and an skiff to ply your trade on the Thames. The area to the right is Riviera Beach, London's 5-star beach resort. Who needs Barbados? We got Riviera Beach. Okay guys, now behind Doggett's, on the right hand side, you'll notice a very tall building with a bump on the side. Now, this is one of London's newest buildings. The actual address of that building is number 1 Blackfriars, but in London we do tend to nickname all of our buildings. The nickname for that particular building is the King's Kardashian. Either you see it or you don't. Okay guys, now the stations of Blackfriars Bridge feature birds, dicky birds. This side they are freshwater birds, the opposite side they're saltwater birds. This is because the Victorians who built the bridge thought that the river changed from saltwater to freshwater here. It doesn't, it's right up at Richmond. Between the two bridges, guys, there are these mysterious red stanchions in the river. What are they? Well, there's nothing mysterious about them. They are the stanchions actually from the Chatham, Dover and London Railway, the St Paul's Bridge that used to cross the Thames here. And they're so well embedded in the bed of the river that you can't get them out. So we just grade 2 listed and painted them red, hope nobody would notice. So now we talk about it on every single food. Now ladies, let's talk about a red day built by ladies on time and on budget. The second of these 2 bridges was built by men. It was 5 years late and £20 million over budget. Seem about right, girls? Yes. Of course it does. On the right hand side, it's a very tall chimney. Charles Gilbert Scott, the designer of the famous red cinema boxes in London, was commissioned to build 2 power stations, Battersea and Bradshaw. They stopped producing electricity in the early 1980s, and Bankside on the right has now morphed into the Tate Modern, Britain's collection of modern artwork. If modern artwork's not your thing, it's not my thing, there is a free to get into cocktail bar. I promise you, you go in the cocktail bar, the artwork will look a lot better. Might even talk to you. Now the bridge we're coming down to, the Millennium Bridge, Norman Foster was commissioned to build this to celebrate the millennium. When people started walking on it, it started swaying from side to side. They had to shut the bridge down, redesign the bridge, and when he was asked in court why his bridge swayed, Norman Foster said, nothing to do with my bridge, my design. It's you Londoners, you march everywhere. He was probably right and he got away with that. Just past the bridge on the right, there's a white building with a thatched roof, the world famous Globe Theatre. Shakespeare built his actual Globe Theatre 50 metres inland from there in Park Street. That burnt down in 1613. Sam Wanamaker, an actor, director, come looking for the monument to Shakespeare that surely must be here. Couldn't find anything. All he could find was a plaque on the wall of a brewery. He decided to make it his lifetime's work to celebrate Shakespeare by reconstructing his fabulous theatre. It took many years. It wasn't until 1997 when Her Majesty the Queen finally opened that fabulous theatre, the only building in London that features a thatched roof. Thatcher's been banged in the city of London since the Great Fire. But guys, we are coming down to Southwark Bridge. Southwark Bridge has a nickname of the Lonely Bridge. Give me an arm. Give me an arm. Because it's the bridge on the river that has the least amount of footfall, least amount of vehicle traffic. Still lit by gaslight at night, so that's a mecca up there for lovers in the evening. Now people, if you go back to Shakespeare's day, the early 1600s, if you wanted any entertainment in London, any beer baiting, ball baiting, naughty ladies, drinking, theatre, you would have to go to Bankside, the area on the right. The city of London, the area to the left, controlled by a very religious group called the Puritans. They thought you could spend your whole life praying and working. They banned all form of entertainment. In fact, they banned Christmas. No reaction. They banned Easter. They banned drinking. At least that got a mumble. If you wanted any entertainment whatsoever, you would have to go to Bankside, the area on the right. That was in Surrey at the time, outside of the power and authority of the livery companies and the Lord Mayor. The last vestige of that area, the old Anchor Tavern, you can see on the right off the start of the bow over there with the fairy lights out front. Parts of that tavern go back to 1620. Ben Johnson, the grey rider, Okay guys, nothing to say about this bridge we're coming down to, utterly horrible, designed by British Rail. But I will advise that once you come out from the other side of the bridge, do not look to the left-hand side, guys. When we come out from under the bridge, do not look to the left-hand side. For your own benefit, guys, do not look do not look to the left, guys, for your own benefit. Good, you're not looking. Look to the right. There's a pirate ship. It's not a pirate ship, it is the authentic reproduction of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Highway. 1577, Francis Drake circumnavigated the world. He left Britain in 1812, he'd come back to 42. He'd come back to £45 million worth of treasure that he borrowed from the Spanish and the Portuguese. He was a pirate. He was enough to pay off our national debt in time, so we didn't execute him. As a pirate, we give him a knighthood, nice place to live in the village of the forest. Thank you, Spanish, thank you, Portuguese, you ain't getting it back. Look to the right, guys, to view of Southwark Cathedral between the two buildings. Southwark Cathedral is one of London's oldest cathedrals. It's been there since the 1300s. Shakespeare's brother Edmund is buried in Southwark Cathedral, and John Harvard, chap who formed the University in America, he was baptised over there. So we're going under London Bridge, the world famous London Bridge. This one's only been here since 1971. The one that this is over a lake in Arizona, Lake Havasu. Part of a big golfing complex. We'll talk more about London Bridge on the way back, guys. But if you go out from London Bridge, if you look to the right-hand side, there's a very tall building. This is Rodeo Beyond Shop, the tallest building in Western Europe. It's over 1,000 foot tall, 72 stories. There was going to be 73, but that's another story. Lot of things up the Shard, 7-star Shangri-La Hotel. This is your apartments. You can buy an apartment up the Shard. You can buy an apartment up the Shard for £50 million. Then you get to take your friends up the Shard. Coming down to a great big warship, HMS Belfast.
Can you see now?
And a stern carrier in the Royal Navy, commissioned in 1936, fought the Russian convoys, the Arctic convoys, the Atlantic convoys, the Korean War, sunk the Shanghai, massive extinction of the vessels, first sailboats onto the beaches of D-Day, 6th June 1944. now owned by the Imperial War Museum, who paid £1 for it. But guys, we are going to come down to Tower Bridge, the world's most photographed bridge. Sorry, San Francisco, we got it. The Tower Bridge is a vascular bridge, which means it's an iron and steel bridge. The stone cladding on the outside was put there by the Victorians to make the bridge sympathetic, with the Tower of London on the left-hand side. The bascules in the centre raise up to let tall ships through. They weigh 1,000 tonnes each, but they only take 60 seconds to rise. At one time you would get 40 rises a day. These days you're lucky to get one rise a day. Okay, now, there's a little tradition on the River Thames that says that if you shout and scream and holler, wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. As we go under the bridge, get away from people on the bridge, you will have 5 years good luck. This stems from the Victorian sailors. This was the last opportunity they had to wave at their loved ones. If their loved one was up there waving back, they would probably return safe and sound 5 years later. There is, however, another little tradition of the Thames that says that if you give your loved one a little peck as you go through the bridge, you will have a lifetime of health and happiness. If you don't, you probably won't. And if your loved one's not with you, your husband, wife or partner will do. On the right hand side, the funny looking building, stack of pancakes behind, call it what you will. Till recently it was a home to our current mayor, Sadiq Khan. Now it's an empty shell of a building, not sure what we're going to do with it.
I eat rubbish. I eat rubbish. Why?
Okay guys, so the walkways above the bridge were put there so that people could cross the river when the bascules had risen.
Wait up there.
So people, as we come down to Tower Bridge, let's make loads and loads of noise. Let's get our 5-fingered wave back from the people on the bridge. Okay, that's pathetic. They can't hear you at all. Well, if you don't make the noise, they won't wave at you. If they don't wave at you, you won't get your luck. River in the world. It wasn't always the case. 1858 we had the big stink. There were only big stinks. Yeah, there's a few people pointing. When all these sewage from London flowed into the river got that bad, that smelly, that Parliament couldn't function. Parliament instructed the Victorian engineer Sir Joseph Bazalgette to build these sewers down either side of the Thames. This had the effect of constricting the river when it could clean the river up. So now we have 120 species of fish in the Thames. We've got eels, trout, salmon, seal, walruses, mermaids. On a Saturday night you can definitely see a mermaid. So on the left hand side guys, this is your best view of Tower Bridge. You will never get a better view of Tower Bridge than this. The left hand side is the port side. You'll never get a better view of Tower Bridge than this on the port side. Tower Bridge at one, this is as old as it seemed, opened in 1894, designed by Horace Jones. At one time painted brown because Queen Victoria, who was on the throne at the time, her favourite colour was brown. She had a big thing for a chocolate. And I will advise guys that the shop now, the cafe, is now closed downstairs. The shop, the cafe, is now closed. The toilets will be shutting in about 15 minutes time. So guys, as we sail back up the river, On the right hand side, you get a good view of the Tower of London. Now, Britain was invaded in 1066 by William the Conqueror. And what he used to do is destroy the area around where he invaded as a way of imposing his will on the people of that area. But the City of London makes money. The City of London, established by the Romans in AD 44, it makes money.
There's a bridge coming.
So instead of destroying the City of London, if the City of London paid William the Conqueror taxes, money, he would leave their city alone, he wouldn't destroy their city. But he did build the White Tower, the area in the middle of the complex, as a way of imposing his will. Only 22 people have ever been executed inside the tower. You had to be royal. 3 Queens of England lost their life inside the tower. If you can give me their name, I'll give you a high five on the way out. 117 executed outside on Tower Hill. It also was a zoo, an armoury, a royal palace, and of course a place of execution and death. Coming down to London Bridge, the most famous London Bridge, the medieval version, that lasted for 600 years and featured 200 wooden properties on that bridge. One of the properties on that bridge was a chapel dedicated to Thomas à Becket. Another of the properties on the bridge was the world's first public toilets, which was sponsored by Dick Whittington, the real Richard Whittington, who was Lord Mayor of London 6 times. If you sail under London Bridge, think yourself lucky, there's no public toilets up there now. On the right hand side, the white building with the clock face, Customs House. At one time when skippers got into the pool of London, they would have to go over and pay the duty paid with the crown in Customs House.
Arian?
Next building up the river with a fish on top, Billingsgate Fish Market. And it is said you're not a true Londoner unless you work in Billingsgate. Michael Caine, the trade twins, we all worked in Billingsgate. Okay guys, now on the starboard bow towards the front, there's a big column with a gold mould on top. Monument. 1666 we had the Great Fire of London when 80% of the city burned down. Sir Christopher Wren was commissioned to rebuild the city, but first he built a monument 62 metres tall as a way of Londoners being able to watch their city be rebuilt around them. He laid the monument down, the tip of the monument would reach Pudding Lane where the Great Fire started. And you get a good view of the monument between the 2 white buildings on the right hand side. The monument is the world's tallest freestanding stone column, 306 steps tall. If you climb the monument, you get a little certificate to say you've been up the monument. Okay guys, now just the other side of the bridge on the right hand side is the Fishmongers Livery Company Hall. Livery companies are a lot like trade unions. In time gone by you have to do your apprenticeship, you'd then be inducted into the Livery Company Hall. Okay guys, so we are coming down to Cannon Street Railway Bridge, and just for your own benefit guys, do not look to the right hand side.
Thomas?
For your own benefit, do not look to the right hand side as we sail under the bridge.
He won that?
Because the windows under the bridge over there are a sauna, and they put the windows in the wrong way round. Don't look, you might see naked people. Everybody's looking. Anybody in there? Yeah, I think so. There you go. See, you thought I was kidding, didn't you? You thought I was funny. Only 7,000 people live in the City of London. 350,000 people come to the city of work every day. All of their rubbish is taken away from Boardwalk Wharf, the wharf on the right hand side. Wharf stands for warehouse at riverfront. So we are coming down to the Southwark Bridge again. But just beyond Southwark Bridge, there is the Millennium Bridge again. And as we sail under the Millennium Bridge, look to the right hand side, good view of St Paul's Cathedral. We've had 5 St Paul's Cathedrals, the 4th one was the tallest building in the world. At one time that burnt down in the Great Fire of London. Sir Christopher Wren was commissioned to rebuild the current St Paul's Cathedral, and he built it 365 foot tall, 1 foot for each day of the year, because religion is for every day, not just Christmas and weekends. Admiral Lord Nelson, Duke of Wellington, Sir Christopher Wren are all bearing Charles married Diana, Lady Thatcher, Winston Churchill had their funeral, and the Queen's going to have her Jubilee celebrations in a couple of weeks' time. But if we've got any Harry Potter fans on the boat, just beyond the bridge on the right-hand side, you can see Hogwarts. I can't lie. It's not. It's the City of London School for Boys. But it is where Daniel Radcliffe, chap who plays, went to school. So in a way, it is Hogwarts. So we are coming down to Blackfriars Railway Station, the only station in the world that spans both sides of a river. The roof of the station features solar panels which provide 80% of the power to the station. So it is the cleanest railway station in the world. Featured in many blockbuster movies, the latest Mission Impossible. You can see Tom Cruise running across the top of that building. Now there is some construction work just beyond the second of the two bridges. Now the Victorian sewers I previously told you about have now come to the end of their useful life. Would you believe it? They're full up with poo. So we are now building a super sewer 30 metres below the bed of the river. And that's what the construction work is. You can see we are building a super sewer to take away our super poo. Because we're full of them in London. So, City of London, established by the Romans, AD 44, they put a wall around the city, with gates in the wall, Bishop's Gate, Aldgate, Trinity Gate, places like that. But the City of London became full up with people, so people started living round the Minster in the west, Westminster, the Abbey. That area grew and grew and grew, and eventually grew into a city in its own right, the City of Westminster. The City of Westminster got bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually joined the City of London. And that happens just down here to the rear of the white vessel just in front of us. There's two dragons on the wall, the exact spot where the City of London joins the City of Westminster. The area beyond the trees is Temple. At one time they home to the Knights Templars. They were banned in 1312. The area was then given to the lawyers, so it's home to the Lawyers' School in London. Upper Temple, Lower Temple, places like that. You can visit Temple Church. It's an original Knights Templar church. That's in the 1100s. Featured in the Da Vinci Code. The white vessel on the right-hand side, starboard side, HMS Wellington, had a stellar career in the Royal Navy. Used to go out during the Second World War looking like an unarmed merchant vessel. German submarines would spot it, see it's unarmed, not wanting to waste one of their torpedoes. They would surface and try and kill it with their gun. When that happened, the sides of Wellington would drop down, exposing 6-inch cannon. They would then sink the U-boat. Had a stellar career in the Royal Navy. Okay guys, on the right hand side, the Green Dome building, Somerset House, home to the Duke of Somerset, also serves as the Admiralty and the Inland Revenue Office. Now houses the Portfolio collection of art. It also houses the registration of birth, deaths and marriages at one time. But we are coming down to Waterloo Bridge again, the Langley Bridge. Just beyond Waterloo Bridge, on the right hand side, there's a green roof building with a flagpole on top. The world famous Savoy Hotel. One night stay in the Savoy Imperial Suite will cost you £13,000 with a minimum of a 3-night stay. If you can afford that, it could be festive strings. You can go into the American bar, which is the cocktail bar. Britain's first ever cocktail bar. A little bit there, but it's right. The obelisk on the right hand side, the Egyptian obelisk, was 3,500 years old. It was a present from the people of Egypt to the people of Britain to celebrate Nelson's victory over Napoleon at the back of the Nile. The Sphinxes over there are placed there the wrong way round. Sphinxes are meant to be looking away from the obelisk, looking for danger.
When you train,
Didn't know that, they put them the wrong way round. Those ones look like they're in a check. Okay guys, coming down to Underwood Railway Bridge again, and I will advise the toilets on the vessel are now closed. If you need to go to a toilet, the nearest place is Merlin's main reception. So people, last opportunity to wave at people on bridges. Get your 5 fingers waved back. Good day to go on the eye, visibility is excellent and there'll be no queues. We do a lot of things on the London Eye, champagne tasting, chocolate tasting, yoga with dogs, they call it yoga. You can't get married on the London Eye. So you bounce on the way up, the eye do at the top and it's all downhill from there. So guys, we hope you've enjoyed yourself on the Silverbridge over the last few days. And it's a shout out on TripAdvisor, Facebook, Twitter. If you've enjoyed it, give us a shout out on Twitter, guys. My name's Mick. If you haven't, my name's Derek. When you leave the vessel, don't forget to take unwanted things, children, mother-in-laws. But on behalf of Willow, Ben downstairs, Ben and Chris, yeah. We got Dan and Chris in the wheelhouse. Myself, Mick. It's been an absolute pleasure having your company on board the fabulous Silverbridge. I'll be at the bottom of the stairs to wish you bon voyage, guys. Have a great trip to London. Bye-bye. Please do remain seated, guys.